Michael Wilbon, co-host of Pardon the Interruption, joining us on the program. Good morning, Michael. How are you?
Good morning, Dan. How you doing?
I'm fired up a little bit.
Are you? What happened? I've been taking a peek off and on at you this morning. What are you so fired up about?
The 18 playoff that I want to come up with because we got to get rid of conference title games, and this way I get the 5 power conference winners, and then I get 3 at large, and now I have some interesting match. Imagine if you had Ohio State Notre Dame this weekend, Mike.
Yeah. Well, Dan, I'm okay. Listen, I've always been an 8 playoff guy. I mean, 20 years ago when it wasn't, nobody would give it any sort of consideration. People were screaming at me about the sanctity of the regular college football season. And I was like, stop. You need a playoff. And, of course, we've got one now. If you could tell me we could go back to regular 10-team conferences, and I don't have to have Maryland and Rutgers in mind. That sets me off. If we could go back to that, and there would be more than 5 of them, then it'd be like a power 7 or something. Then I'd be okay for that. Again, I was an 8 guy. I'm not right now because I don't think there's 8 out there worthy. They're not going to get my attention, and it just causes for it. I'm fine with getting rid of the conference tournaments to do it. If you could tell me we had the conference landscape of the late 1990s, and we don't.
Yeah, but I'd still like to get Central Florida in.
Me too. I'm with you. I'm with you there. I think I'm with that Central Florida. I can't say I think they should get in now.
No.
I can't say that particularly if Georgia beats Alabama on Saturday. But I just think that I don't see enough other teams out there that I want to schedule my life around in early January or even late December to see them in another round of playoffs. Not yet. Maybe that will develop. And again, I think that is preferable to me to these 14-team or 16-team conferences. I hate that setup.
But you also have a college season that has been kind of lackluster. It's boring.
This one is because of the lack of upsets. I mean, I always think that somebody's going to lose. I went right through Saturday thinking, I don't know, I'm not going to say I thought there was going to be a specific game. But, let's face it, we just haven't had that many undefeateds lately. And this year, to have them bunched at the top, I think is what I agree with you. This has not been a spectacularly interesting college football season.
What is bothering you right now?
You know what? I don't think anything is. I mean, if I look across sort of the bigger landscape, I don't see anything. I mean, I could get exercise over one and done, but I get exercise over that in a way that no one else does.
Mike, you got to have a hot take if you're going to have this job.
It's early in the day for me, Dan. You know me. I don't get these hot take revelations until like 2 p.m. But you know what? So I wake up angry some mornings. I just think right now, the college football season hasn't been great, but my team has had a run, so therefore, I'm not wired. I'm not as wired on college football as I often am because I'm too complacent because my team's been good, although God help us Saturday in Indiana against Ohio State.
Okay, I got one for you here. If I said the more dangerous team in the playoffs, the Bears or the Texans?
Wow. Oh, that's pretty good. I mean, that's legit. The Texans, I thought the Texans might drop one last night. I thought that in division, these division games are closer and tougher and harder to win. Yeah, I know they were at home, and Tennessee obviously has some, Tennessee has a little bit going on, having beaten the Patriots. I'm biased here, Dan, in a way. I think the Bears are going to crush Green Bay, and so this notion that Green Bay is going to come out, I never say that. There's only one time in my life the Cardinals and the Packers just exist to haunt me. And I thought in 2015 when the Cubs played the Cardinals after finally getting in the playoffs, I said out loud, and I first said it to Tony, then said on the air, the Cubs are going to crush the Cardinals in this series. I never believed that. I believed it then it happened. I believe the Bears are going to pop the Packers. December 16, I think it is, and that's going to put the Packers out of their misery this year. And they got misery. I mean, the Packers look. They don't. Everybody talks about running the table, and they've done it before. Yeah, but when they did it before, they weren't starting off looking as, discombobulated as they are now. So I think the Bears will win that division and make some noise in the playoffs. And I think this is the year to do it because there's even though they've been flexed twice and people are talking about them, there's less in the way of expectations this year than there's going to be coming up.
Why is it when the Packers win, Aaron Rodgers win? When the Packers lose, Mike McCarthy loses?
Because they're setting up the scapegoat. Mike McCarthy, it just looks like it's come to a close. I mean, part of this goes back to me, Dan, when they fired the quarterback coach and didn't tell Aaron Rodgers. I mean, basically, they were saying to Aaron Rodgers, like they say to every other position player in the sport of pro football, you don't matter that much. And as we know, there's one position in pro football, you can't handle it that way. And that guy, you can't handle that way. He's too independent, a thinker. Aaron Rodgers is not going to be suppressed because I'm a coach and I've got the authority and this is football. He didn't give a damn about that. You know, I stood with Aaron Rodgers on the sideline at a Warriors game 2 years ago in the playoffs. You know, during a championship run, and Aaron Rodgers was standing there watching, and I said, I bet you put up some points in your day. We started talking about his basketball career and how he wanted to play basketball, aspired to play pro basketball. But, you know, he didn't get the offers that were going to put him in that position, and he understood that. But here's what he said to me. He said, you know what, this, meaning basketball, he's standing there looking at Steph Curry warm up, this is what I love. And to me, that was a revelation. And part of it, I think, as he gets older is because the business of it is what may turn him off, that his coach or his GM or whoever fired the quarterback coach didn't even do him the courtesy of a phone call when he works most closely with him.
Yeah.
And so I think all of that contributes to what we're seeing. I mean, it seems hard. I can't imagine, unless they go to the Super Bowl or, I don't know, at least the NFC title game, that McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers are going to be working together next year. Do you? I mean, do you see this going on? No. I thought a couple of weeks ago, you can just look at the disconnect on the sidelines. You know, if I watch Breeze and Sean Payton, like if you watch, you know, Brady's not talking to Belichick. He'd be talking to, you know, Josh McDaniels. But if you're not talking to your coach, your head coach, or your offensive coordinator, I don't know. It just feels like they're not engaged, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's I'm same thing. I'm looking at this going, wait, what? You know, if we go back and we see some sideline footage from 6 years ago, what are we going to see different? And I think it would be.
But I don't understand that Rodgers has the final say. So whenever there may be a lack of imagination and creativity with the Packers and Mike McCarthy, but it feels like Aaron Rodgers should be able to say, I'm going to do it this way, or this is what we're doing here.
Yes, but that's what I'm talking about. He doesn't have it, or he doesn't feel, comfortable doing it. Either way, what's not working to me is more profound than just, the Packers aren't creative. I think it's more than that. I think they're not just disconnected. There's some, I don't know, what's the word? Maybe resentment. And I'm not close enough to that situation to understand all the nuances of it. But I really do believe it started with the changing of personnel, and not just, I don't mean on field, but on sideline, in that box on Sunday, the things that make Aaron Rodgers feel empowered. I think that those things, at least one of them and maybe more, were taken away from him, and that's going to be that. He's
Michael Wilbon, co-host of Pardon the Interruption with Mr. Tony, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Are you still interested in the Lakers?
Yes.
Like, what are you watching for right now?
Well, okay, so Dan, I'm doing something right now I've never really done. So the first 2 weeks I went crazy watching everything.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, the season starts so early now. God, November 1 was too early, and now October 13, or 18, that's crazy early. So I didn't check out, but I'm not watching obsessively. And I talked about this with Mike D'Antoni last night here in Washington before that game against the Wizards, just about having a shortened preseason. In pro football, Steve Young talks all the time now very eloquently about how the first 4 games of the regular season are like preseason used to be. And everybody understands why they've cut preseason in every sport. I get it, except baseball. I get it. But in basketball, guys were not. I had 2 players tell me last night that they were not. They thought they were in great shape, condition to come to camp and start. But they weren't in basketball shape when the season started, and they're just getting there, like the last few games. So I think you can get a bit of a false read. I'm looking to see with the Lakers just game to game how they play, and there's still some ups and downs. It's funny to me how, and I'm sure both of our shows have been guilty of this in some way. You know, they win 4 games in a row, they win 5 of 6. We say, have the Lakers turned the corner? No, they haven't even gotten to the corner. They're not at the corner. They're down the street. So I'm just looking to see how different guys play together. Am I seeing Ingram progress as those of us who fanatically watch this stuff think that he's supposed to or will? You know, where's Lonzo Ball? So I don't know, it's individual nerdy stuff maybe. But I'm still interested in the Lakers. But I'm going to get the point about checking out a little bit of the season now. I'm going to be really excited about watching it after starting Christmas Day.
Yeah,
we still got 6 weeks. No, how many weeks we have to go? We got a month. We got a month to go to Christmas Day.
Yeah, I don't have a referendum on the Lakers every day on this show after every game, and that's what everybody wants to know. Like, where are they now? And I said, you know what? Check with me in January. We'll get a better sense of, if they've added, subtracted, how these younger players are progressing, maturity level, those kind of things. But for the time being,
you and I had a lot of this. of saying to people, "Hey, slow down."
Yes,
it's such a long season, and I think that people who haven't been around it for the in and out, the back and forth, the up and down, they want to sprint, and it's not that sport. There's one sprint sport at the professional level, and it's the NFL. It's such a long season that I'm like you. Christmas Day is the start of a new interest. I'm not going to really get there until I'm like you, mid-January probably.
I also brought this up a couple of weeks ago with Kevin Durant. I think it's a foregone conclusion he's not back with the team. This is even before he and Draymond had their moment there, or moments. But I wonder when Stephen A. Smith said, well, the 2 destinations are the Knicks or the Lakers. I see more of the Knicks with Kevin Durant than I do the Lakers, because I wonder if Kevin Durant wants to help LeBron get more titles.
I agree with that. I'm with you on that. I don't see that as much as others do. Now,
can Durant handle New York, Mike?
Not what we've seen from the past 2.5 years. I mean, look, I know Kevin a little bit. I mean, I live where he lived and grew up, and he's it's so funny, Dan. He's like a different person in the summer when he comes home, and he's built libraries. I mean, he's done so much stuff here in the community outside of Washington where he lives, and I've been around him for some time. He asked me to come out and host some of his charitable events, and I've done that, and it's like a different guy, and I understand that the pressure of this moves most people, but the pressure of New York is different in a way that even though he grew up, a 4-hour drive or train ride away, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you. I don't know that you can correctly anticipate it. That the volume is what it is. That the penetration is what it is. The depth of it. And if San Francisco is one of the easier places to exist. I mean, I think Oklahoma City, of course, is much easier than either one of them, except you got to deal with Russell Westbrook on a daily basis. But if he left to here's the counter argument to us. This is, I'm sure, what Stephen A. would say. If he left to go to Golden State to sort of to link up, to hook up with the championship outfit, why would he do it? And the LeBron part of it is what I agree with you on. But these relationships change. They thaw. They evolve. There can be something organic where guys who didn't like each other begin to like each other as they get older and say, wait a minute, we can do this for the common good. I wouldn't want to see that.
But doesn't Durant want to stand out as the best player in the game?
I don't know. I think he probably thinks he's already done that by winning the MVP. Didn't he win the MVP of the
regular season
championship series?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think he's won it twice.
I think he's won. Yeah. So
that doesn't make you the best player in the game.
But a lot of people think they're the best at something in the game now, and they aren't. And you and I would probably be on the same side of most of these arguments, having seen, let's face it, Dan, we're old enough to have seen 3/4 of the history of pro basketball, of the NBA.
Yeah.
And they haven't. And unlike people who study the history in the generation before them, look, I had enough conversations, and I know you did too, with Michael Jordan, who would literally just sit people down and pick their brains until he had no more questions about the history of the game. Magic would go on the road a day early to talk to a coach, would find Wes Unseld and talk to him about what happened against, Willis Reed and the guys who played, Bob Lanier and Rick Barry. Those guys don't do that anymore. LeBron does. I don't know that happens as much anymore. I don't know that there's that sort of reverence that leads to serious introspection. It just becomes, well, I'm the greatest player in the era of the, Sports Center, so therefore I got to be there's not that sort of introspection. So I don't know that he wants to do that. I don't want to see him on the Lakers, but I don't know. I keep hearing other players. People talk about that with Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
He's got to go to the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers didn't have anything for 5 years, and everybody's got to go there. So I'm interested in them this year. I know the speculation on those two players specifically will be obsessive as soon as we get past the All-Star break, if the rosters are set. But yeah, Durant in New York, I don't know that either. Aren't there some other teams? Is it only New York and LA, and nobody ever goes to New York. Who goes to the Knicks? Like, who actually goes there on their own?
I know. Maybe it changes. Maybe it changes. Maybe. I know we got a lot of time to speculate. Tell Mr. Tony we said hello, and good luck to your Bears.
Good hearing you, man.
Thank you, buddy. That's Michael Wilbon. Pardon the interruption.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.